forgot the euphoria.
Euphoria. Pheromone, maybe 10% of people actually emit pheromone, and we have a vomeronasal organ which is your sense or my sense of pheromone. If you bring someone into a building where reverence is, it causes a feeling of a state of reverence for people where they come in where that was what the feeling state of people were before they came in. They also feel the same state, and pheromone from our vomeronasal organ is picked up and transmitted, and many processes in the body, Vic, require things to be done in a sequence, and pheromone assists to cause those things to be done. And so aldosterone assists to cause people to feel good, but also to feel their jing, or to feel creative, or to feel libido, and also to have microcirculation and proper good blood flow and things. So serotonin, dopamine, outright, these things all assist with this, and so these substances really all cause someone to feel a sense of euphoria and a feeling like what amphetamine give you, only natural source.
It's got bear root in here, which I know is really rare. Harvest yourself. Fantastic. So, I have a question. What is the definition of quorum sensing?
Quorum sensing is where you've got a condition which is going on in your nerve. You've got an on-off type processing, which then that can affect other nerve. And then you've got nerve, which is tuned into the whole and can sense apart from the whole. That's just stop processing. So quorum sensing is where you have a capacity to be able to, in a decentralized system, receive feedback that can affect the whole organism. And quorum sensing is the way that's done. So, for instance, to give you an example, one fish in a school could feel something coming at that fish, and it backs up into the school, and all the school moves away from what that would have been that was aversive, yes? So only one fish was needed to see that. That's an example of quorum sensing.
It's like it's like a 100 monkey kind of thing, when 99 monkeys learn something, the 100th one and beyond automatically falls in line, already knows it without even having to learn it. Is it something like that it becomes a instinctual thing?
You always are continuously getting feedback, and it's only through enzymatic feedback loops that something could be made, for instance, that was missing in a loop, because you've got something before that and something afterward. When you've got enzymatic feedback loops, you've got more self-sustaining types of condition and things. You've got feedback loops.
Or is it something that can be learned?
No, of course learning is involved, but you can imagine that an example of quorum sensing would be like how Alexander did things. Alexander was doing things in the field and was right there with everyone and could see everything going on, where other people were across the other side of the mountain. They didn't know what was going on. So quorum sensing is an intelligence. It's what naturally gives you the capacity to be able to get feedback. So always only that can exist in a decentralized condition, and that's the type of condition, in a quanta, which is what the kind of system is that we're going to have in a future moment, which the current paradigm of one frame being connected to another frame is a very old paradigm and doesn't fit into a quorum sensed world of quantum computing, where it requires you to have a decentralized condition. And so that is what we move into, where you really need a verified account. And so then you can have quorum sensing in a system. But if you didn't, then you could have all kinds of interplay which can't exist in a quantum system, really. It's because it's functioning perfect and there's no waste. So in an aquarium where you put life and it was there for 70 years, sealed, and you had shrimp and you had bacteria, mold, fungus use, you had live plants, you had little worms and everything, and it all lived inside that glass, perfectly producing everything it needed for its own self to self-sustain itself for 70 years. And you could see the earth is like this, you could see your body's like this, you could see your nerve cells are this way, and our red blood corpuscles are like a worker bee, where your nerve cell is more like the queen bee. The queen bee is going to live for 4 years and has greater consciousness and omnipresence, whereas the red blood corpuscle is only going to live for 120 days or so. So it's not going to really have a consciousness quite like what a nerve cell does. So
it is something that's instinctual. It can be improved, or you can actually.
Quorum sensing requires a feedback to come back in to orchestrate and move a system to be able to survive and have a better opportunity to have an outcome. Yeah, exactly. So
maybe a little self-inquiry is also helps, right? If it's a feedback
well, everything is really that.
Analyze yourself, your surroundings.
Yeah. A good example of anything that would be quorum sensing would be anything that's of a mutual lived assistedness. And you have to have feedback for that. You can't have centralized conditioning. It doesn't work.
If you have a group of people that are really in sync with one another, they'll have a greater ability for a collective quorum sensing.
For instance, like if you don't have that, you'll have one country just as a nation maybe spent 19 billion on ice cream, and the whole world only spent 9 bill on basic education. But if you and I are the bank that directs this current and creates it from an asset that is the worth of the arm, for instance, in currency, you've got quorum sensing in a system that can work. Otherwise, you've got a Peter principle where people have promoted their own self to absolute incompetence.
It's a new awareness for a new paradigm.
Yeah, exactly. It's a system that could really work where this computing system becomes an extension of your brain and can give you answers to things which you need in your inquiry and your quorum sensing for all of us. And that's how it works. But if you have a break in that, which we do at this current moment, by the internet being owned, by all the logarithms being put over everything, by the media all being owned and paintbrushed out, most Americans are fed up with the quality of something being the back of a cereal packet as a coupon. You want a bit more.
We're eating cardboard here. What can I say?
Yeah, we would want things to be verified more, in other words. And I think everybody wants that. And you can have verified system, then you can have currency that's tied to government. And you only can have governance if you've got decentralized conditioning. And if you have a net that does this, that's what .arm is about, yeah, and our movement. If somebody wants to go learn a little more about this, they could go to jubbdavid.com and have a little look there.
I think this can only get better, can only improve, and we can only get more interest as we go forward. So,
yeah. Great, Vic. Well, anyway, really great talking with everybody today. Hope you're having a really wonderful day, and I'm really excited to look forward for us to catch up to each other in a future moment, a future show. Love you, mate.
Love you, mate. Peace out. Joy.